Globe showing Europe, Africa, in the heart of Earth's deepest forest, Superman thought he had cornered the ultimate enemy. High voltage with every hero watching, he unleashed his unstoppable power, but on the wrong target. Evergreen tree, the ground shook, the trees burned, and silence fell until the real enemy revealed itself. Fire, what followed was betrayal, chaos, and a twist no hero saw coming. Collision, and in that moment, Superman realized the true war had only just begun. The forest that shouldn't exist. The world had seen wars. Cities had burned, skies had cracked with thunder, and alien armies had marched across steel and fire. But this was different. Deep in the untouched heart of Earth, where no satellites reached and no human dared step, lay a forest so vast and green it looked alive. Trees soared like towers, their roots twisting like serpents across the soil. The air was heavy, not just with mist, but with a silence that felt unnatural. Superman floated above it, cape trembling against the wind. He wasn't here by choice. He was here because of a signal, a cry hidden in the frequencies of Earth itself. Something had awakened, and it wasn't human. The heroes had gathered at the forest's edge. Batman, Iron Man, Thor, Wonder Woman, Hulk, Flash. They weren't supposed to be here together. Not today. Not for this. But when a message hit every system, every mind, every heartbeat, they knew. This is where it starts, Batman muttered, scanning the endless canopy through glowing lenses. Or where it ends, Iron Man added, his suit humming low, weapons primed. But Superman, he said nothing. His eyes glowed faint red as he stared into the green abyss. Something in that forest called his name. The deeper they went, the stranger it became. The forest pulsed. Leaves shivered though no wind blew. Branches bent as if whispering. Even Hulk, the monster who feared nothing, slowed down, unsettled. And then the attack. Not from the sky, not from the shadows, from the ground. The earth split open, swallowing trees whole. Roots lashed like whips, tearing through soil, slamming into heroes with monstrous force. Thor swung his hammer, lightning crashing across bark and leaf. Wonder Woman spun her lasso, binding roots like they were beasts. Iron Man's repulsors burned through wood, sparks raining. But Superman didn't fight the trees. He looked beyond them. He saw the figure, a shadow in the mist, a heartbeat he didn't recognize, a threat that made his skin crawl. He shot forward, breaking sound, splitting air, a red and blue comet across the emerald. The figure turned. Superman's fist connected. The ground cracked. The trees screamed. And in one strike, Superman crushed the wrong enemy. The silence that followed was unbearable. The heroes stood frozen, staring at the lifeless body sprawled across moss and soil. A warrior, scarred, battered, holding nothing but a blade of alien metal. Not a villain, not a monster, a protector. Superman's breath hitched. His fists trembled. No, it can't be. The forest shook again. Louder, deeper, not from roots this time, but from below. The real enemy had just woken up. And every hero knew Superman's mistake had doomed them all. The awakening below. The forest was no longer silent. It was breathing. The ground pulsed like a giant heartbeat, shaking every tree, rattling every hero to the bone. Hulk slammed his fists into the soil, roaring as if trying to stop it, but the vibration only grew stronger, faster, angrier. Batman's voice cut through the chaos. Superman, what did you just do? But Superman's eyes were locked on the fallen figure. A warrior, a guardian, someone who clearly wasn't the enemy. His cape whipped against the rising storm as regret stabbed through him like kryptonite. I thought, it was him, Superman muttered. His voice broke, something it never did. Iron Man stepped closer, scanning the body. Big Blue, I hate to say it, but you didn't just hit the wrong guy. You killed the only one who could have helped us. And then the earth split. Globe showing Europe, Africa, the forest ripped open like the world itself was tearing apart. From the chasm rose claws the size of trees, carved from black stone and glowing with molten cracks. The temperature spiked. The heroes felt heat burning through their armor, their skin, their souls. A roar erupted from below, ancient and merciless, shaking birds into the air, snapping branches like twigs. And then it came. The monster wasn't alien. It wasn't from the stars. It was Earth's own curse, buried for millennia, hidden beneath roots and soil, a creature forged by the planet itself to defend against invaders. But here's the twist. Superman had just killed the controller, the guardian who kept it locked down. Now, the beast was free. It rose, taller than any skyscraper, its body made of stone, bark, and magma, veins glowing like rivers of fire. Eyes like burning suns scanned the forest and landed on the heroes. Thor lifted his hammer, lightning crackling in his beard. By Odin's breath, this is no ordinary beast. Wonder Woman tightened her grip on her sword. It's not a beast. It's a god. The monster swung. A single swipe of its claws shattered half the forest, trees falling like matchsticks. Shockwaves blasted through the heroes, sending Flash tumbling, Iron Man crashing into the dirt, and even Hulk stumbling back, dazed. Superman shot forward, guilt burning in his veins. This is my mistake. I'll end it. He slammed into the creature's chest, fists striking like meteors. Sparks flew. Stone cracked. But the beast didn't fall. It didn't even flinch. Instead, it growled, its molten veins glowing brighter, hotter. Then it spoke, not in words, in feelings. Every hero heard it in their minds. Rage, betrayal, grief. The Guardian was dead. Its chain was broken. And now, the world itself wanted vengeance. Batman, battered but calculating, shouted through the calms, "Listen carefully. It doesn't see us as enemies. It sees us as the invaders." Superman's mistake just made all of us targets. Superman's chest heaved, eyes glowing red. Then I'll make it see me. Only me. He rose higher, faster, until his figure glowed against the sky. His heat vision blazed, cutting across the monster's molten skin. The air screamed as red beams carved through stone and bark. But the creature only got angrier. It swiped at him, faster than a mountain should move. Superman dodged barely. The claw scraped across his side, ripping into the Man of Steel, sending him crashing through 100 trees before he slammed into the dirt. Blood hit the soil, and every hero watching realized this wasn't a fight they could win. Not like this. Iron Man's voice cracked with static. "We need a plan, now, or we're all mulch." Batman's jaw clenched. His mind raced. "We don't fight it. We contain it. But for that, we need the Guardian alive." All eyes turned to the body Superman had struck down. Lifeless. Still. Silent. But then Wonder Woman knelt beside him, her hands glowing faint gold as she whispered words of truth, words of life. For a flicker of a moment, just a flicker, the warrior's chest rose. "Wait," she said. "He's not gone. Not yet." And in that instant, hope returned. The battle wasn't just against the beast. It was a race against time, to save the one soul who could lock the monster away again. Race against a god. The forest wasn't a forest anymore. It was a battlefield. Trees toppled like dominoes, rivers boiled into steam, and the ground split with every step of the colossal beast. The heroes scattered, fighting just to stay alive, while above it all the molten-eyed monster roared with the fury of the earth itself. But down on the torn soil, the focus wasn't the beast. It was the fallen warrior, the Guardian. Wonder Woman's golden glow spread over his chest, her voice steady, commanding. "There's still life in him. I can feel it, but his spirit, it's fading." Batman knelt beside her, pulling devices from his belt, wires and injectors flashing. "Keep him alive. If he dies, the monster doesn't stop. Ever." Iron Man hovered nearby, deflecting falling debris with energy shields. "Not to interrupt the mystical CPR session, but big guy out there is treating me like a piñata." His armor cracked as he took another hit, tumbling into the dirt. Flash blurred in, panting. "We don't have minutes. We barely have seconds. Look." The monster turned, its glowing eyes locked onto the tiny figures huddled around the Guardian's body. And it charged. The earth shook like an earthquake. Birds scattered in black clouds. The sheer speed of it defied its size, every step like a meteor strike. "Move!" Thor roared, hurling Mjolnir with a thunderclap. Lightning split the sky, smashing into the beast's shoulder. It staggered, but only for a heartbeat. Hulk leapt, roaring, slamming both fists into its face. Rock shattered, magma sprayed, but the beast barely flinched. With one swipe, it sent Hulk flying through the forest like a rag doll. Meanwhile, Superman rose again, blood trailing down his suit, eyes blazing with guilt and fury. He slammed into the beast's chest, holding it back with all his strength. "Get him up," he shouted, straining his claws closed around him. "I'll buy you time." The heroes worked frantically. Wonder Woman's lasso glowed brighter, wrapping the Guardian's wrist, channeling truth and life. Batman pressed injectors into his veins, gadgets whirring, sparks flying. And then a twitch. The Guardian's fingers curled. His eyes snapped open, glowing emerald, fierce and ancient. He gasped like someone reborn, grabbing Wonder Woman's arm. "You shouldn't have freed me," he croaked, his voice echoing with centuries of burden. Batman's eyes narrowed. "We didn't free you. Superman killed you." The Guardian's gaze shifted, landing on the Man of Steel, still grappling the beast, blood dripping, face twisted in pain. Rage flickered across his features. But before words could be spoken, the beast let out a roar that split the forest in half. The Guardian pushed himself up, staggering, pressing his hand into the soil. The ground responded instantly, roots bursting from the earth, coiling around the monster's legs. The beast thrashed, ripping trees apart, magma veins blazing hotter. Superman fell back, gasping, as the Guardian's voice thundered. It wasn't meant to wake. Not now. Not like this. Wonder Woman steadied him, then put it back to sleep. The Guardian shook his head. Not without a cost. Not without a sacrifice. The heroes froze. Every battle-hardened warrior knew what that meant. Iron Man's voice cut the silence, laced with static. "Define sacrifice. Please tell me you mean pizza night." But the Guardian's eyes burned brighter. One life, willingly given, to bind it again. Only then will the earth rest. Superman's heart sank, his fists clenched. This was his mistake, his burden. He stepped forward without hesitation. "Then take mine." The heroes turned, shocked. Thor's hammer lowered. Batman's jaw tightened. Even Hulk, limping back into the fight, froze. But the Guardian shook his head slowly. "Not just strength. It must be the heart that carries the guilt. The one who chose wrong." Superman's chest heaved. He already knew. It had to be him. And as the beast tore free of the roots, roaring with fury, Superman's decision burned brighter than the fire in its veins. The Man of Steel was ready to give everything, to undo the mistake that had just doomed the world. The sacrifice. The beast's roar ripped through the forest like thunder, tearing the sky apart. Trees snapped, rivers boiled, and the ground shook as though Earth itself wanted to throw the heroes off its back. Superman stood tall in the chaos, blood dripping from his lip, cape shredded, eyes glowing red. His mind was clear now. This wasn't just a fight. This was judgment, and he had already made his choice. "I'll do it," he said firmly, his voice steady despite the storm. "I started this. I end it." Batman's jaw clenched. "Don't be stupid. There's always another way." Thor raised his hammer, sparks crackling. "You speak like a warrior ready for Valhalla. But your death helps no one if it's wasted." Wonder Woman's voice broke, softer than a clash around them. "Cal, are you sure?" Superman's eyes didn't leave the monster. "I killed the Guardian. That beast is my responsibility. No one else pays for my mistake." The Guardian, barely standing, pressed his glowing hand into the soil. The ground trembled, forming a circle of light around them. Ancient, green, and alive, a seal that pulsed with the rhythm of the earth. He looked at Superman with heavy eyes. "Step into the seal. Your life will bind the beast again. Your soul will be its chain." Flash darted forward, desperate. "No, no, no. We can figure this out. You're Superman. You don't die, man, you don't die." But Superman only smiled faintly, almost warmly. Even Superman makes mistakes. And sometimes the price is everything. The beast roared again, slamming its claws into the ground. Shockwaves blasted outward, throwing heroes back like leaves in a storm. Hulk dug his fists into the dirt just to stay upright. Iron Man's armor screamed with alerts as he barely deflected molten debris. And still, Superman stepped into the circle. The light flared, wrapping around him like chains of fire and truth. His body shook, his heartbeat syncing with the earth itself. He could feel it, the monster's rage, its pain, its hunger. It wasn't evil. It was balance, a force born to protect. But now it demanded a prison, and that prison was him. The Guardian raised both arms, his voice booming with ancient power. Once this begins, there is no return. Superman closed his eyes, whispering to himself. Not a goodbye, not a prayer, just one last thought. Lois, forgive me. And then the ritual began. The forest exploded in green light. Roots shot upward, wrapping around the beast like chains of the planet itself. The monster thrashed, roaring loud enough to split the clouds. Fire poured from its veins, magma spraying like blood. Superman screamed as the energy tore through him, his body glowing, breaking, yet holding. The chain was his life. Every second of pain bound the monster tighter, dragged it closer to the seal. The heroes could only watch, helpless, as their strongest ally gave everything. Finally, the Guardian shouted the final word, a command older than civilization. The seal blazed. The beast roared one last time and vanished. Dragged beneath the earth, chained by Superman's soul, the forest fell silent. No wind, no roar, just stillness. But inside the circle, Superman's body collapsed. Still, lifeless. The Man of Steel was gone. The twist that shook every hero. The silence after the monster vanished was heavier than the roar that had shaken the skies. The forest, once alive with chaos, now stood still, almost mourning. Superman's body lay at the center of the glowing seal, his cape torn, his chest unmoving. The heroes circled him slowly, warriors who had seen death countless times, yet never like this. Batman knelt first, his cowl shadowing eyes that rarely betrayed emotion. His gloved hand hovered over Superman's chest, then clenched into a fist. He's gone. Flash's voice cracked, trembling. No, not him. Not Superman. He turned, pacing, his speed nothing compared to the panic in his heart. Hulk slammed his fist into the dirt, trembling with rage. He's not supposed to die. Thor lowered his hammer, bowing his head. A god among men, fallen like a mortal. Truly, Midgard will never see his like again. Even Iron Man was silent. No jokes, no quips, just a reflection of Superman's lifeless face across his cracked helmet. The Guardian, still weak, leaned heavily against a tree. His emerald eyes burned with sorrow. The chain holds. The beast sleeps again. He paused, staring at Superman's body, but at a cost too great. Wonder Woman knelt beside Clark, brushing dirt from his cheek. Her voice trembled with both pride and pain. He carried the weight of worlds and chose Earth again. The heroes bowed their heads. For the first time, silence united them, grief binding stronger than any battle. And then, the seal pulsed. The ground beneath Superman's body glowed brighter, brighter, until cracks of light spread across his chest. His hand twitched. His eyes, closed a moment before, snapped open, but they didn't glow red. They glowed green. The Guardian staggered back, fear flashing in his ancient eyes. No, this cannot be. Superman rose slowly, every step deliberate, the circle's light wrapping around him like chains made flesh. His voice echoed with something deeper, darker, older than him. I'm not Superman anymore. The forest trembled. The heroes froze, shock painted across their faces. The Guardian whispered in horror. The prison didn't just bind the beast, it chose a vessel. Batman's eyes widened. You mean? Yes, the Guardian said, his voice breaking. The monster is inside him. Superman's cape flared, his fists clenched, veins glowing the same molten green as the beast's. His face was calm, almost too calm, as he looked at his friends, his family. I kept the world safe, he said, his voice layered with thunder. But I carry its fury now. And if balance is broken again, his glowing eyes swept over them, fierce and unyielding. I will be the one you'll have to stop. The heroes exchanged looks, fear, loyalty, heartbreak, because they knew one truth. The war wasn't over. It had just been reborn. Inside Superman. Fire the end or the beginning? Fire.